All right, Brakathiya Howell, Brakathiya Shai, Brakathiya Howell, Brakathiya Shai, Brakathiya Howell, Brakathiya Howell, Bashim Shai, Bahashim Rakak Dash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, which drew well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. On the priest Shaman, this week's topic is going to be entitled Beware of These Women. Beware of these women. Okay, now before I start this lesson, I just want to highlight the fact, as you can see, because I know I typically do the in transit lessons. I had the opportunity today to do a screen record, and I mentioned in the driving lessons, you could use AI to put together some scriptures for you. And with that said, there should be no excuse for anyone to be falling behind on their videos. It's very, very simple and easy to do. And as they say, if you're not changing, you're choosing. Okay, so if you're not changing those habits, that means you're choosing not to do your videos, which, that's just not a good look in front of the eyes of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So what I did was, and you can do this with any sort of AI chatbot they got, simply typed in, can I get KJV and Apocrypha verses wanted about women? Can't get any fucking easier than that, honestly. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Now, typically, sometimes I'll read through these, filter out the ones I want, and put them in my Bible app. But the point is, brothers, it's very simple for us to do our lessons. As you can see above, this is a sketch drawing from the Diddy trial that's going on right now. And man, Diddy, first of all, fuck Diddy. The guy's wicked. He's a demon. According to the scriptures, he'd be put to death for all his abominable work. But one thing his defense team is highlighting is that these women are highly manipulative, all right, emotional, lies, very deceptive. And as a man of substance, you want to be very careful with these women. Even if you don't have any substance, women could get leverage over you, right? Because the society favor women. And you know what? I'll say this much about Diddy's defense team: they're getting their money's worth. He's getting his money's worth out of his defense lawyers. These people are top notch. If you've been following these cases, they catching these women in all types of lies and contradictions. And I wouldn't be surprised if this dude don't get a life sentence. Possibly even beat it. Who knows? With that said, this is the book of Proverbs. I'm going to use this one. Proverbs 7 and 10 to 12. And we're going to jump down to 25, 27. Here's what's even crazy about this thing. It also breaks down the context for you. So it's pretty easy to do lessons today. All right. You just have to edify and prophesy, man. So if that pertains to you, if you're a brother that's falling behind your lessons, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. All right. So Proverbs 7 and 10 to 12 says, and behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot, a subtle of heart. The attire of a harlot, that's how a lot of these women dress now today, very provocative. You know, she is loud and stubborn. First of all, these are what you call red flags. And red flags are being put on the pedestal today. They kind of tell a woman to be loud, stubborn, rebellious, at least here in the western part of the world. In the eastern part of the world, this thing is strictly prohibited. But guess what? In the eastern part of the world, you see a lot more wives, don't you? Even though a lot of those marriages could be arranged, there's a lot more people married, and you have a better society like that. Today, you got a bunch of women, but none of these women are wifey material, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I say none of them, I mean like close to all. Of course, you're gonna have outliers. You can't speak in absolutes, but the majority of the part in the West, man, a lot of these women, you're gonna have to compromise, brother. All right, you come in this thing, don't make the naive mistake of I'm gonna give her a Hebrew name and this is Sarah coming back. All types of naivety. You gotta really compromise. Just like how we're not perfect in front of the eyes of the Lord. When you go pick a woman, she ain't gonna be perfect, bro. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna have her different flaws or what have you. But even in that, you still have to be very selective in the woman that you bring close to you. Every brother has their own particular parameters, right? But you have to put your walls up, your defenses up, because these women are looking to destroy you, man. A lot of times they just look at how can I get leverage on this man, and your job is to say, what can I do to make sure she don't get leverage on me? Diddy's situation, he had leverage on Cassie, but she also had leverage on him in the form of these freak off videos that they did. But what he did was he kind of covered his ass in a way, because a lot of the text message he was saying, you don't have to do this. And what he did was he had her keep all the videos. So this whole shit about her saying, did he threaten her with the videos? He was like, well, they like, wait a minute, you had the videos. You the one that was ordering these escorts and so on and so forth. But it shows you women are very manipulative. They'll lie. They'll say all types of shit, man, to not take accountability. I know that first-hand experience. Man, women done lied on me, crazy accusations. just to not take accountability. So that's the nature of these women. Your brothers should be beware. You know what I'm saying? Always keep one eye open with with the one that sleeps next to you, man. Says she is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Not in her house. See that? And what do you see today with these women? What they say, if you ever mess with these dating apps or even just talk to a woman, what's the first thing she's gonna say is, "I like to travel." Most of these women are gonna say that, "I love to travel. I love to travel." But really, they should be keeping their ass at home. Not gathering abroad. Because when they go on these girl trips, they get drunks and put themselves in harm's way. They're very careless. They're very at ease. So a lot of times when I see situations like a chick getting kidnapped and all this kind of stuff, I'm not saying I promote any of that, but kidnapped or even in Cassie's situation, you're like, why do you put yourself in that situation? You could have left at any time. You could have choose to not go out to some country, get completely blackout drunk with strangers. They just make very poor decisions. You know what I'm saying? It says, now is she without, now in the, and this is why you always had a father or a brother, some sort of male figure to direct their steps, man. All right? Because truly, women need leaders. They need guidance. You see what I'm saying? They need a man. Contrary to what society is telling you, women need men. Okay? The society doesn't function without men. The society could function without women. Not from a reproductive standpoint, but it will keep going. But if men were to up and leave, this shit will fall apart. These women don't know how to build infrastructures and keep this shit up and all that. That's all men. So now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. I guess this is 25 to 27 now. Let not thine heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her path, right? You shouldn't let a woman control you. Don't let no woman control you. You see? Don't get caught up or wrapped up in her beauty. And that's what make women cleave on to certain men. Why do you think she was all into Diddy anyways? Some women just like control men that control them and shit. They like that shit. They're attracted to it. They can't help it. Some of them. Okay? Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell. Going down to the chambers of death. A lot of these women destroy men. Look at the man. Look at the man. Yeah, King Solomon, Yahweh Shai. Well, when he was in the body of King Solomon, what took him down? Woman. Woman led him astray from the Heavenly Father as he got older in age. How did they do that? They went to these different strange philosophies, man. And he got into that. Proverbs 31:3. Oh, and this is why I use the Bible app, because, I'll take these scriptures and put them in my Bible app, because then I have a concordance, a Hebrew concordance. The scripture just reminded me that, because it says, give not thy strength unto woman, nor thy ways to that which destroy kings. And if you have a Bible app that has a concordance, or you could have different versions in there of this KJV verse, you'll say it said, give not thy wealth, or give not thy substance, and things like that unto women. Know thy ways that destroy kings. And Diddy did that. Diddy got caught up in that. Diddy's just an example. Many men, namely like men of wealth too, that just get completely wiped out. Jeff Bezos, my goodness. The 5 richest women in the world got their money from either divorce or inheritance. They will destroy you. You see what I'm saying? The same way they say men see women as sex objects, women see men as success objects. So if you're a man, as a successful man, they looking at you from almost like a predatory standpoint. Like, this nigga could provide, you know what I'm saying? They looking to extract all your resources out of you. And when they done with you, they just fucking move on. That's like a lot of these athletes, you might see them with a chick that's like a 5, a 6, or a 7. They could easily get a 10. They could get a 12 then. They could get the baddest bitch in the world. But the ones that are intelligent, they're going to scoop the ones that's been with them from the very beginning. Those are the ones they keep around. They'll wife up those, right? And then just fuck the bad bitch on the side. Because guess what? When you're going to go pick a woman, if you're going straight off beauty, that's not really how you want to do it. Beauty is good. You like for your woman to be attractive, in your eyes or what have you. But it shouldn't be the first thing you go after, because beauty is a depreciating asset. You should look for some of these intrinsic values, all right, that she has, for like again, if you're looking for a woman for the long term, for the long run, it shouldn't just be that. You know, what some of it, does she cook? Does she clean? Does she give like a motherly vibe? What's her situation with her parents? Does she respect her father? That's the things you should be looking for. Not if she got a fat ass and big titties and shit like that. You got to learn how to separate the two. I mean, ideally you want that, but I'm just saying, if you pick a woman just for that shallow reason, that's like you putting your hand into a bear trap, bro. Because you don't know what the hell you just went in there because the bitch got your rod up, but you never filtered anything else out, and she could completely wipe you out. And some men never learn their lesson, like Bezos. He got wiped out by a woman for like half five for 50 something billion, and he's about to wife up a woman that he got through adultery. She left her husband to be with you, so you think she won't, you know, leave your ass or get dicked down by somebody else? So you got to be very, very careful with these women. Even these women that call themselves so-called sisters, you have to. That don't mean like they just came in and they're completely, in the world. I've been baptized. Nah, some of the wickedest women be in the truth. So-called think they in the truth. Throw scriptures at you and shit when you get in an argument. 1 Timothy 2:9-12. Don't need that one. I don't need that one. See what they got in the Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 9 and verses 2-9. Okay, there's no way. Oh, verse 2 and then 9. Okay. Give not thy soul unto a woman to set her foot upon thy substance. That just iterates exactly what King Solomon said in the book of Proverbs. They're saying the same thing. And these are books of wisdom. The more you have as a man to get married in society, the more risk you're taking on in life. You see, like if you broke and you marry a chick, it's not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? But if you got substance and you marry a chick, oh my goodness, it's over. Why? Because they have not adapted laws. You see, many years ago in America, men were the sole providers or what have you, all right? And women weren't working. So if you were to leave them, they had to be taken care of. Now these women could take care of themselves. In fact, some of these women are just specifically looking for that bag. They see you as a bag. They'll try to get impregnated by you. I'm talking about if you have substance, all right? They'll try to marry you, wait 5 years, and then take half your shit. They scheme like that. You see what I'm saying? And even if you don't got shit, these women you could have a kid with these chicks, and they could just destroy you in the court system, and stress you the hell out. That's how come the Apostle Paul said, man, if it's possible, man, don't even deal with them right now, if you can do that. Not everybody could do that. Don't think you're Paul, you know what I'm saying? Because the scriptures also tell you it's better to marry than to burn, you got to know your spirit. Me personally, I can't do that. So I'm not going to even try to force no shit like that, So like I said, look, I'm not like that. So I like to deal with women, but so how do I go about it with some sort of wisdom? Then you watch your scripture, then you watch your shows, you read your scriptures, and then you're going to learn. You're going to make certain mistakes, but you're going to learn. All right. And eventually when you get some time, then you can say, okay, I think this is a good candidate or what have you. I'll pick her, and she could check every green flag. It doesn't mean shit's going to turn out good. So we just got to really pray the Most High just, walk with you, because even these wicked women will fall in brothers' laps, you know what I'm saying, and take us for a ride. So shit is just, hey man, this is just the hell that we in right now. It says, give not thy soul unto a woman to set her foot upon thy substance. Meet not with an harlot, lest thou fall into her snares. Right, don't wife up no hoe. That's the last shit you want to. You could deal with a hoe, but you don't want to wife up no hoe. You don't want to give your substance onto no hoe. You see? Look, if the woman that you with it's really, look, man, it's this for that. Quid pro quo, all right? If she's handling her part of the business, then you as a man, then you got to provide, right? Ideally, if a woman is showing me, okay, she's worth it, then I put forth that extra step, but if you just if she's just bleeding you and she ain't really give you nothing but some box, you losing on that deal. You know, you got to get more than some box. Any bitch could give you some box. It says, turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman and look not upon another's beauty, for many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman. That's exactly what I was saying to the spirit, man. All right? Because they could go, they could cry, they could swing people's favors, they could do all types of shit. You know? I'm just looking at the drawing. Look at her crying. The judge is all looking and shit. Diddy's just rolling his eyes like, man, this bitch. Says, I've been deceived by the beauty of a woman. For herewith love is kindled as a fire. A beautiful woman could take a man into adultery. You know what I'm saying? Man, you know, sadly, look what happened with King David. And that was a man of the Lord. He got wrapped up in Bathsheba's beauty and caused him to sin greatly. You see what I'm saying? You think if Bathsheba was like, let's say, fat, overweight, ugly and shit, you think he would have did that? He wouldn't have did that. You know, she had to look very beautiful. He saw her naked and it was a wrap after that. He got burnt in his lust. So that's another thing too, how they could destroy you. You know what I'm saying? It'll take very strong so-called willpower, but really prayer from the Most High. If you with a bad bitch and she about to, I don't know, give up the box, y'all in a situation, last minute, oh, by the way, me and him is kind of still on and off. You have to say, now, whoa, what the hell? Why you ain't, you know, get the hell out of here. You know, a lot of men will just say, I don't care. You even have people in the truth that call themselves in the truth that get burnt up into this trap of being around a woman that has a man. Oftentimes because of her beauty, and even not, that could be just a wicked dude around a woman. So these women should not be around. A woman shouldn't handle, first of all, male best friend. A woman, only male friend should be her close of kin, brothers and shit like that. You see? It says, I'd rather dwell with a lion. Oh, this is Ecclesiasticus 26:16 and 24. You know what's so crazy, man? If women are so virtuous and all this type of shit, the society tell us, why is there so many Bible verses from Genesis all the way down, all these different books warning against them? One, like, be careful with them, like letting you know that Satan works with them. You know, and if you look at a woman, there's nothing really spiritual about a woman. If you look at a woman, just look at a woman, you see an ass, titties, long hair, lips, face. All that stuff is not making me think about the scriptures. All that does is make me think about reproduction, if you will, carnal shit. You see, we're supposed to be the spiritual one. They're not spiritual, bro. They carnal, man. And you have to deal accordingly. It says, I'd rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. As a climbing up a... Damn, that's crazy. That's pretty much like, I'd rather just risk my life than to dwell with a wicked woman. As a climbing up... This is 24 now, Sirach 25 and 24. As a climbing up a sandy way is just to the feet of the age. Damn, that's pretty grueling. So is a wife full of words to a quiet man. They will stress you. That stress kills you. Stress kills, literally. So they just talking your ear off, being clamorous. You probably can't get out now because you don't have a kid with her, or y'all married, or some sort of shit where she... That's when they change a lot. You know, Tom Likas used to always say that. As soon as they marry you, get a kid, now they get fat and cut their hair and shit. You like, damn, I'm stuck. Why the fuck? This is not what I signed up for. You can't do shit now because you trapped. You see? Now she's trying to flex her authority because she got you by the balls down. It says, a woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. So these women are all taking a stand. Another woman that took the stand. Of course, Diddy's defense is just bringing out the fact that, look, how come you changing up your stories? And a lot of them just wanted money. A lot of them just wanted money. They didn't give a fuck what Diddy was doing as long as they was getting that bag or getting their so-called opportunity at their career, because they're selfish creatures. They don't give a shit. Why do you think they break up families? Because they don't feel happy. That's some selfish shit. They'll leave a man up out of the blue. Just, oh, I don't, you know, we don't feel just feelings. Not even thinking about the children. You see what I'm saying? They do this shit time and time again, initiating damn near 80% of the divorces. All feelings. A lot of it, too, is money. So that's all selfish shit, and that's these women are. Selfish creatures, man. You know, Ecclesiasticus 29:9-12 says, the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and her eyelids. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly. Right, you have to be on top of your daughter. You know, the scriptures tell you the father lose sleeps over his daughter. This society here, you can't even discipline your daughter. You can't take a belt to their ass in America. They could lock you up and take your child away, giving them even more liberty. Then you have social media, you have school. It's a lot of shit to just stress you out, man. Right? Because people are not even raising their kids nowadays. Society, mainly social media, is influencing your kids, all right, to be what? Especially the daughters, to be more whores and sluts and degenerate. It says, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty, be a hoe. Like this chick, freak off some nasty shit, getting peed on in her mouth. There's some sick shit that went on with this woman, man. She's a demon. As a thirsty traveler, when he hath found a new water, so is she that goeth after her lover. She gonna open her mouth, man, to drink. You see? That's the main thing you don't want with your kids. You don't want a son that's a mo, and you don't want a daughter that's a hoe. You don't want a son that's a mo and a daughter that's a hoe. That's it. I guess it's the last one they got. I'll read and wrap up this lesson. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 24. It says, nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. So what's that one? Indirect reference via envy. I think I'll close with that, man. All right, just spirit, just saying, be careful of these women, man. With that, I hope brothers are edified. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash, that belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Citations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim, to Sadakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.